In 2025, state-sponsored attackers used AI-generated resumes and fake personas to land remote jobs at more than 100 American companies, including several Fortune 500 firms. Additionally, attackers have been observed using language models to research targets, generate and modify code, and draft phishing emails. Our insight into attacker AI use is limited, and while there may be some hints, there is no signature to identify AI-generated code or attacks. This means that defenders have to rely on the transparency of first-hand reporting from model providers like Google and OpenAI to see how threat actors are using these tools. But attackers aren't forced to use these hosted services. Using data from hacker forums, Cisco's Talos has also shown that the democratization of open-weight AI models enables attackers to use privately hosted models with no oversight, and even develop fine-tuned models specifically for uncensored use or tailored for offensive security operations. In influence operations, attackers use generative AI to produce content for fake accounts in order to push specific narratives. This often uses synthetic media generation or deepfakes, and it is often tied to influencing real-world geopolitical events. Generative AI influence ops often include some combination of AI-written social media posts, AI-generated profile images, or AI clone voice, easily produced to the desired breadth and scaled at extremely low cost. The second category, cyber capability enhancement, refers to elevating or augmenting the attacker's cyber skill level, ability to scale, or capacity to automate. These enhancements can and often do overlap with our first category of influence ops. The most notable examples of capability enhancement are attempts attributed to government-connected APTs in attempts to place clandestine IT workers within valuable companies. These campaigns use generative AI to create and maintain full digital personas, complete from LinkedIn profiles to cover letters and resumes, with the ultimate goal of getting these workers hired into privileged access remote work roles at major companies and enabling later-stage cyber intrusions. This is obviously way more complex than an AI-generated phishing email, but attackers are doing this as well. Criminal and APT groups alike are using AI models across the attack lifecycle to assist with target reconnaissance, vulnerability research, and malware development. The most frequent abuse of LLMs in cyber, according to Google, is for generating code for malware and generating content for phishing emails. In fact, in mid-2025, we're starting to see the first AI-enabled malware, which calls model APIs to generate command instructions. To determine how much these models can currently help attackers, the search team at Splunk ran an evaluation with robust intelligence to determine the actual capability of modern LLMs to successfully reproduce attack procedures. The results varied across models, across operating systems, and across the attack chain, but it was clear that there are pockets of maturity where models can significantly help improve the capability of a low sophistication attacker, and there was little resistance from the model's guardrails to withhold this type of information. While most of these tasks reflect attacker use of AI models to assist with tasks related to a cyber attack, an emerging paradigm involves instructing models to take malicious action independently and on behalf of the user. This is where agents come into play, where a user gives a model the instructions and the autonomy to take action in support of their objective. So, what is the overall effect of generative AI for attackers in the near term? It's helping boost minimal competence needed for attack, uplifting basic attackers to be better. It provides improved ability to scale, meaning broader attack targeting, scalable influence operations, and general improvement in productivity. But while they may be raising the floor for attack sophistication, they're not yet raising the ceiling. The attack capabilities introduced are not yet novel. It's important to recognize that our current insight into attacker trends based on generative AI transparency reports may be a fleeting signal for defenders. Sophisticated attackers will shift quickly or may already be limiting their use to privately hosted models. To keep parity with accelerating threats, we too, on defense, should look for opportunities to use AI to go faster. Given the diversity of text generation and summarization functions in a SOC, the opportunities should be plentiful. We have to look for opportunities to alleviate burden, streamline, and move faster. For example, we wanted to test how SOCs can accelerate their analysis by injecting language models into later stages of a threat hunting workflow to reduce the initial classification time of an event. We call this model-in-the-loop threat hunting, where we insert a language model into our hunt workflow, label the events, and accelerate triage. In our test, LLM classification helped analysts by pre-screening and labeling a sample of 1,000 unique PowerShell execution events, a process that typically requires manual analyst review. Classification labels were assigned to each event at an average rate of 2 seconds per event, saving the analysts 83 hours over the full span of investigating the events. That's 250 times faster than human analysts. The last tip is to learn the ropes. Attackers are getting good at AI. We need to as well. We can't afford not to use AI, and to get the most out of an LLM, you'll need to understand the tools and methods available to optimize your performance on the problem. A basic place to start is prompt engineering. This means crafting precise inputs to guide an LLM's response behavior, enabling high-quality outputs without modifying the model. Better inputs boost LLM performance and task accuracy. Clear and precise instructions produce better quality results. The next step is to try few-shot learning. This is where you provide the model with a few examples in the prompt to demonstrate a task. By providing just a handful of examples to a recent test on PowerShell classification, we saw an 8% precision boost and a 6% improvement in the accuracy of our model. Again, just like training a human to do a new task, giving an LLM examples helps the model orient to the task with just minimal labeled data. If you need to build more context into your prompt, like specialized documents or lookups, another method to learn is RAG. This combines external knowledge retrieval with generative models to ground responses in relevant data. It uses a vector database to store encoded data and retrieve content related to the submitted user prompt. When we use RAG on the PowerShell classification test, we saw an even bigger improvement in precision than with few-shot learning, 19% up in precision and a 7% jump in accuracy from our baseline. The last option for targeting a particular security problem is fine-tuning, refining a pre-trained model even further to a domain-specific dataset to specialize its behavior. This can require a big investment in time, finances, or computing resources to get right, but significantly improves the performance on niche or custom tasks, well beyond what prompting alone can achieve. Our last suggestion to prepare for Gen AI attacks is to expect them. Start testing against AI-enabled attacks to get ahead. For example, develop your own agents to incorporate them into Purple Team exercises. This is a good way to learn firsthand a model's capabilities and limitations, as well as any attributes from their attacks that may be useful in defense. Let's review our tips on how to defend. First, look for opportunities to use AI to move faster or alleviate areas where analysts are currently overburdened. Second, be aware and become comfortable with the methods at your disposal for improving AI performance. Specifically, we talked about prompt engineering, few-shot learning, RAG, and fine-tuning. Third, prepare by expecting AI attacks to come. Keep tabs on offensive agents and capabilities as they're being developed. Consider integrating them into Purple Team style exercises to learn if and where they differentiate from historical attacks. Lastly, if this helped you understand the AI landscape better, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss on future updates.